molecular biology. Some of the top scientists in the field said this is not good science. It's not replicable.
And you know what? Their jobs, their careers were, their reputations were diminished.
And they lost their funding.
Backed off into they lost their funding. And so they would kind of went away. You know, they did the best they could. But people are afraid because we all have bills to pay. We all want to eat. We have survival needs. And so nobody wants to step out to the front and state clearly, HIV does not exist. There is no science to prove this exists. And that's the simple truth.
And when one of the most qualified medical scientists, practicing physicians, and really, I think one of the great scientific investigative minds of our generation comes out with one of the critical books that can stand up to anyone's critique and scrutiny, and that is Dr. Nancy Turner Banks and her books, AIDS, Opium, Diamonds, and Empire, The Deadly Greed, or The Deadly Virus of International Greed. When her book comes out and her voice comes out, she's driven into exile.
Oh yeah, she moved out of the country as far as I recall. Costa Rica or somewhere.
No, she and I communicate quite regularly, and she is undeniably one of the great minds of our generation. Now, looking further, I want our audience to know why you're on. I mean, your story is compelling. You know, a couple of comments I'll share, and then I want to answer this next question. King Jason in the Living in Black chat board says, "Damn, that's a hell of a story. Brother got me tripping." Brother Eze writes, "I love it when brothers and or sisters come into specific information and are greatly transformed. They become possessed to get the information out to all that have ears to receive." And he writes further, "Everyone needs to view the documentary film, The House of Numbers." You're familiar with that film?
Yes, I am. And, you know, thank you so much for that. And he's right. I have been obsessed since learning about all of this. You know, I get up every day, and my little means is Facebook. You know, people say, "Oh, you're on Facebook all the time." Well, Facebook is my office. It allows me to reach the most people. I'm in 30 groups or more. You know, I come and go in the groups. I drop the information in there. People start attacking me, then I get out. I go somewhere else. I plant seeds wherever I can, even if it's in a corner grocery store. Because you become obsessed because you know that people are living a lie. And it kills them. It kills their family members. And so, yeah, I'm out there telling the story. I'm going to tell it to my last breath.
That's right. And for those of you for those of you just joining the conversation, our guest is Brother Damien Laster. He is the conscious doctor, and we are talking today about how we can come to a whole new understanding about our health by disconnecting ourselves from this matrix and reconnecting ourselves to the vital forces of life. And that's very, very serious. Our focus is starting off on HIV and AIDS, but obviously goes way, way beyond that false paradigm. If you want to talk with our guests, do give us a call. Area code 646-716-9835. We'll get you right through. Hit the one button if you are in the Blog Talk Radio queue, and I'll know that you want to speak. We're also taking your messages as they come in on the Living in Black chat board as well. Another question or comment from King Jason. He says, "The only proof or numbers they need are in the paychecks given to all the black women they pay to teach AIDS prevention. Sisters be getting them gigs." Boy, you know, I've commented on this over the years, that virtually every black woman who graduates from college with a degree in the biosciences or a degree in public health, all can be drafted into various government-sponsored programs that ultimately limit fertility. And isn't HIV advocacy one of these fields where their work actually results in lower birth rates to the larger group?
Wow, that is so powerful. That is so true. You know, I actually credit my college for teaching me about critical thinking, which later in my life helped me save my own life when I looked into this thing a little bit deeper. But when I moved back to this town, I went over to my school. It still has just a few black students, and the Black Student Union was getting ready for their that year's month celebrations. And part of that I learned was that some AIDS organization was coming onto the campus and encouraging HIV testing among the black students. And I went off. That day, I gathered all my pamphlets and whatnot, and I went over to the school and went in there, and of course, it was a black woman, a young black woman, college graduate, and a white guy who had all of their materials laid out on the table and were waiting on the students to arrive. And here I was standing there wanting to count on everything that they were about to say.
Wow.
And the officials from my school, where I graduated, that I respected, asked me to leave my own campus. I couldn't even believe it.
Yeah.
So,
it happened to me before. I've been thrown off campus for this. Yes, I agree.
Yeah, thrown off campus. I couldn't even believe the place that really taught me to think critically now doesn't want me to demonstrate it because of whatever financial obligation they have with this organization that's coming into the school and basically targeting black people for destruction, the way I see it. And so it's challenging, you know. There are a number of people, I won't even name them. It's not my intention to point fingers. But just to get people to think, if you've got some little job and you're going out teaching people about what you think you know HIV to be, please go research on your own and realize that what you're doing is part of the problem. Do you want to be held accountable and responsible for harming your own people? Guys of philanthropy? You need to go and educate yourself and then take the other side. Stop being afraid. Stop thinking you're not going to be able to pay your bills. I haven't gone home yet. I mean, I've been living the life I thought I was going to live. Kitty, I heard you talking yesterday about some of the things after the show. And, you know, you really touched me so deeply with all of that. When you talk about the rejection from your own family and how you question whether what you're doing is making a difference. Well, just know that you are. I just got another message, which I get them all the time, all over the world. People thanking me for what I do, saying how I've gotten them to see things in a different way. They looked into it on their own. Some of them stopped taking their drugs. Some of them are completely healthy again, and they're in their communities doing what I'm urging you all to do today. Stop being afraid and realize that during these times, our ancestors have got our back, and they are thrilled when we are waking up and doing the right thing. That's what keeps power to some perceived threat, because nothing can harm us.
Do you mind if we take our first phone call for the show today, Brother Damien?
No, I'd love to.
Caller, welcome to LIV Radio. Do give us your name. Where are you calling from?
Brother Kitty, can you hear me?
I can hear you just fine.
This is Brother Eze from Baltimore, Southern City.
Brother Eze, always great to hear from you. You're on with the Conscious Doctor, Brother Damien.
Conscious Doctor, yes. I just had a quick question. So, what is your thoughts or your feelings regarding Magic Johnson and him, you know, supposedly coming out with HIV? I mean, what do you think the whole, I guess, motive was behind Magic Johnson's, public display of him supposedly being HIV infected? Well, you know, when Margaret Headless stood there with Robert Gallo and announced to the world that they had found the probable cause of AIDS, which was HIV, her voice was trembling. She could hardly even get it out. And I believe the reason for that, for her laryngitis, because Kitty knows I talk about consciousness, how it creates disease, is the inability to speak up to authority. I believe that woman knew that something wasn't right about what she was being forced to do as a spokesperson for helping human services in this country. And her throat chakra, which is the center of expression for truth, divine truth, she couldn't get it out. But after that, we saw, what better person to recruit than somebody that everybody knows who's a sports hero, and all of a sudden he got HIV. If you look at Magic Johnson, I've got a picture of him sitting next to a pool, overweight, looking like some greedy monster. I can tell you, he's lived all these years, and I bet he's not taking any type of medication. Because you can't do that and be healthy. Those drugs block the DNA at the mitochondrial level. You know, and when you get that high and there's so many millions of trillions of dollars that are being generated, who knows what kind of threat he may be under. You know, nobody really knows all of that. But my thing is, he, after all these years, after going around the world and being a spokesperson for HIV and giving out people, to me, he's a complete sellout. That's the way I look at it. Him and anybody else that doesn't learn the truth about this thing and go out there and tell it and stop allowing the destruction of our people. That's the way I see it. There's no excuse. There's no way of backing out of that. And so I don't think he's taking any drugs. I don't think he really cares. You know, some people, money is their main motivator. You know, but I'm not one of those people. And many of us out here don't care about those kinds of things.
Yeah,
so what do you think about it? I'd like to hear his opinion about what he thinks about that.
What is that?
Yeah. So, well, of course, when I first heard about it, I mean, I wasn't consciously aware that there was a different side of HIV and AIDS, you know, and so I wasn't aware until I started reading books by, you know, Curtis Call, so I started listening to Keaty, and also Dr. Branson, and you know, and I became aware that you know that there's a different side to this thing that we know as HIV, you know, and so but you know, initially. Yeah, I thought the guy had HIV because I didn't know any better. You know, it wasn't until I came to it out I began to question it.
Right, and then the way that affected you, it affected all people. He was a vehicle through which they extended the spear to the masses. And everybody withdrew themselves. You know, married women were probably glad because they might keep their husbands from cheating on them. Mothers and fathers may be glad because they might scare their children but you know, not having premature sex. You know, all those things were generated, which basically, in the end, created division amongst our people, especially the ones that were being diagnosed with this thing. They were ostracized and pushed out of the community. Many of them ended up homeless on the street, you know, just trying to make sense of all this delusion. But he was a vehicle that was used to advance that. And not just him, other celebrities. There are those that pick up for HIV, but they're usually like they're waning celebrities. You know, they may have been on a show in the 80s. You know, and now they get a chance to, you know, work for a cause of HIV and whatever. Not just black, but white, all races of people. But you mostly see the ads targeted to black people.
Yeah. So the Ise, final comment or question?
No, that's about it. I'm enjoying the show.
Yeah, and you know, I've got a couple of notes. When Magic Johnson's diagnosis came out, I believe that was 1991, I was already moving very firmly into the camp of dissenters. I started looking into this as early as 1987 myself. And I remember putting together a large package of information and mailing it to Magic Johnson immediately. Later to encounter several other people who said that they did the same thing. So I'm pretty well convinced that early on, Magic Johnson got an alternative perspective on this. He claims that he took the HIV chemotherapies for some time, and then, of course, later emerges as a spokesperson for the pharmaceuticals. But as Brother Damien pointed out, the evidence that he's taking these things would be very evident because you see his body shape changing, he might be losing weight, the buffalo hump syndrome, the pallor that many people on these toxic chemotherapies develop, because the chemotherapies are designed to kill the fastest growing cells. And he, after so long of taking such chemotherapy, he would be suffering extensive liver damage by this particular point, and that is not happening. So, personally, I think that Magic Johnson just got caught up. They needed faces to come to public profile of this. And because of his activities as a professional athlete, some proteins accumulated in his blood that allowed these bogus HIV antibody tests to show up. Another point, I wanted to make this a little bit earlier. This is a very important point. At the time when brothers like Magic Johnson, Davian, and many, many others were being tested, quote unquote, for HIV, those antibody tests were so bad that they ended up discarding them, throwing them away. Some of these tests, the last time we ever see them show up before they're discarded is in the black community. They have gone through some 31 or more different FDA-approved antibody assays, ELISA for HIV, but a whole bunch of the earlier ones were quietly discarded because they were just too unreliable. All of them ultimately are unreliable, very easy.
And you know, Peter, beyond that, I believe that they are aware that we are gaining. The truth about this thing is beginning to come out, and it's falling apart. And so they're ramping up the propaganda. Just last week, and I know it's a listener out there, one of my fellow cohorts to this thing, who lives in Canada, he called me one night. He said, "Man, I just got back from seeing Straight Outta Compton." He said it was a really good movie all the way up until the end. Make a long story short, I went to the movie last week, I believe it was, and toward the end, they were announcing to Eazy-E that he was HIV positive. I got so upset at the way they played that scene out. First, they had the doctor standing right in front of him, and his name on his badge was A. Freeman, MD.
Oh, snap.
And he said 12 tests have proved that you are HIV positive, and you have 6 months to live. And you can just feel the energy and the audience just go down. Right there with the sublimation of Kundalini energy. And I got so upset that I stood up in the movie, Katie. I swear I did. I said, "Please don't fall for bullshit." Excuse me. And I walked out of the theater. I couldn't even take it anymore.
Yeah,
because I know that we're gaining. And every time we gain, they come out with a movie or bring up some old story about Eazy, who was a sellout himself. He sold out the other members of NWA. They all went off on their own trying to make a career and a name for themselves. And he was the one that he was the vehicle that they used to advance HIV way back then. I believe that was before Magic Johnson.
Yeah, it was right around.
They brought up an old story. Yeah, brought up an old story and bringing it back up to the movie.
Yeah, that's so true.
People living in fear and to keep this agenda going. But people need to wake up. Like I said, once you educate yourself, nobody can take that away from you. So please do that, you know. I can talk to Peggy and I can talk to women with things. Many books can be read and come out. But until you sit down with this and realize that this could be you, this could be your loved one, and you don't have to allow it.
That's right. Brother Easy, final thought?
Well, yeah, just real quick, Peter. I've often heard you speak about the inserts that are in the various tests that they, for this HIV so-called disease. Do you think exposing people to the content on those inserts would potentially, help to change some of the folks' minds just based on what is conveyed on the inserts?
It has helped literate people.
Okay, I got you. Okay, right.
Yeah, you can read into that what you meant.
Right, okay, Bob. Well, thanks, guys. I definitely appreciate it. I'll continue to listen.
All right, respect to you. And
thank you.
Yeah, what a great call. And that's a point of understanding. Illiteracy produces vulnerability all across the board to life processes. I want a couple more important questions I want to put on the table. Name the key resources that you think are necessary to be developed for us to do a better job of creating another pathway towards self-empowerment for people in this area.
I can only tell you what I use, what I do, that I turn off my television and I go mostly into YouTube and I study what the masters are teaching. And my favorite of all of them is Bobby Hemmings. You know, he's the one that some people won't even look at because he may curse every now and then, or he may have an eccentric personality. But I don't care. You know, even when they start railing against people like me and the audience goes up, you know, whatever commentary, I still stay right there and see what I can learn. And by beginning, it helps me tie all the loose ends together from primordial days all the way to now. And you gotta be interested in that, the metaphysics, the spirituality, the occultism of all of that. You can't be afraid of it if you're hanging on to the idea of Jesus. So I say delve into our ancient past, learn of the chakras, realize how you're creating your own diseases and you can self-heal them, and then educate our children early on, pull them out of these schools, start homeschooling these children, and giving them the love that they deserve. Otherwise, we're going to be another generation of lost souls marching in some march and getting nowhere.
Yeah.
We're going to have to just take back our power.
Now, you have your own book is out now on this topic. Maybe you could mention what books, magazines, or other materials have you produced or that you find critically necessary to be able to get for our people to have a better understanding.
Well, my book, There Is No HIV, and I prefer you get it from my website, is a great book. And then, of course, Dr. Banks' AIDS, Opium, Diamonds, and Empire, The Deadly Virus of International Greed, which you've already mentioned. There's Dr. Africa's book, Nutricide. There's Scott Whitaker's book, Medicine. And many other books by white authors out about it. You know, all you have to do is Google it and let your spirit guide you. I don't like to tell people what to do about their illnesses, about anything. I point them in the direction of the resources, and then they can study it on their own and allow their spirit to guide them to the truth. You don't have to get it from the pastor. You don't have to get it from me. You don't have to get it from anybody else. It's your own soul by looking into it, seeing it for yourself. You owe yourself that. Not your doctor, not your pastor. But the information is out there, so look into it. There are many videos, House of Numbers, Fact or Fiction. You know, go to my website, go into the Rainbow Warrior Companion and just click. You know, while you're cleaning up around the house, have it playing in the background and listen.
Excellent.
You know, it's not rocket science.
Well, there is as much science as you can handle in it, but the entry point is really quite simple. I've often quoted the line from Stevie Wonder's song, Superstition. When you believe in things that you don't understand, then you suffer. Superstition leads your way. It's a very simple phrase that all of us know very, very well. When you believe in things that you don't understand, then you suffer. King Jason wrote, a friend of mine was diagnosed as positive. I'm assuming that meaning HIV positive, which is a negative diagnosis. After going to the hospital for what he described as feeling like his heart was jumping out of his chest. That sounds like arrhythmia. He talked to a naturopath and was told to take magnesium. He did, and took Dr. Sebi's herbal formula. A year later, he retested for life insurance and is clear. And isn't this true, Brother Damien? A number of people do retest after learning about lifestyle factors for disease disorder and the presence of hypergammaglobulinemia, too much white blood cell material floating around your blood, which is what reacts on these tests.
Well, you know, I have never been one to get on the bandwagon of, okay, you're positive now, you go to X, Y, Z, you go back and take a test, and all of a sudden you're negative. To me, that only shows the inconsistency of the test. I believe with that test, just like I said, that test is looking for some kind of DNA change that reveals that we're about to be more spiritually evolved, and once that identifies that, they set about trying to take you out. That's what I believe. But nobody can deny that healthy living habits create health. You know? But the simple truth is HIV has never been proved to exist. If that brother was having heart palpitations, or if he was having night sweats, or he had swollen lymph glands, all of that are related to individual states of consciousness, ill states of consciousness. And once you know what those are, Perhaps study this book. You can hear your life. And there's a list of diseases from A to Z. They show the metaphysical causes that create disease. And then you get with that and examine your own life, get honest with yourself, and try to create change and energetically restore balance to your consciousness, to your body, which will naturally follow along. Then you can self-heal. You don't have to run back to the doctor to do anything, because if you listen to your body, it'll tell you what it's feeling, whether it's well or not.
A couple more questions. If you were given $1 billion, what would you do?
I'd probably give it right back. If it was going to cause me more trouble than it's worth. But of course, if everybody realized that God has given us everything that we need, and we line up with that consciousness that there is no lack of limitation, and that really becomes a part of our interior, it'll manifest in our exterior. But if I were given $1 billion, of course, I'd give all my family members $1 billion. I'd probably start my own school, start my own business. I would travel this world, visiting all the old ancient sites. And I'd probably just invest in things, gardens and schools, healthy foods for us. I'd have a spiritual living center. They might have a chain of them all around the world. Whatever I could do to empower our people and our children, most importantly, so that we don't live our entire life and fail them in this continued cycle of disruption continues. It's not going to change because we want it to. It's only going to change because we do the things that are required. So money doesn't solve all problems, but it sure does help in this dimension.
Yeah, it sure does.
Hello everybody, and thank you for taking the time to view that presentation. I am Dr. Damien Q. Laster, Kabir Amin Ra Anfu Asar Set Rakti, busting up Bogus HIV worldwide. Me and Mama Nephews got no